Today we're going to be going over the two GPS remotes for the DJI Action 4 and the Insta360 Ace Pro. Right, so I have both GPS watches mounted on my scooter. Let's see how long they take to connect. And we're going to turn both of them on. There we go. It's funny because I actually did film this already once before. And the Insta360 was fine and it connected to the GPS. Whereas the DJI, I did not notice, did not connect. And you may not be able to see it, but the DJI is thinking all the time. It's spinning around. There is no GPS on it at all. The GPS is thinking on the Insta360 right there. And we're just going to give it a second for it to connect, because without the connection on the GPS, we cannot get any data at all. So they're both thinking at the moment and finding GPS. Let's have a look. All right, GPS is locked in on the, if we zoom in, locked in GPS on the Insta360. Sorry about my phone. The DJI is still thinking. Now, I had this problem yesterday where it took about 20 minutes for it to connect, which was a real pain. Oh, there we go. We have GPS. You guys not me to see it, but yeah, GPS is working. So now we can go. I think we're connected to both of them. Live view works. Let's have a look. Yep, live view works. Let's go. Before we get going, let me just show you a little bit more about these watches. You get a short strap and you can charge it with a USB-C to USB-C cable. With the Insta360, you get a bike strap, a wrist strap, and a charger. The charger is simple. It's magnetic. You put it on, plug it in, and it charges very quickly. With the Osmo, you basically just plug in a USB-C cable and you're good to go. The short strap on the Insta360 is obviously much more practical. This is an iWatch. It looks pretty nice. This is the Insta360 watch. It looks pretty nice. And the Osmo looks pretty nice as well. I think the most comfortable is the iWatch, but they're okay. So to turn on the GPS remote for your Osmo, basically turn it on and it will connect automatically fairly fast, but it does take a long time to search for GPS in my experience. You do have to go out into a more open space for it to find GPS, and you should be okay as long as you don't go into any interiors with it. You can also use the Osmo remote to wake up the camera, to turn it on and to turn it off, as well as pressing record. The Insta360 Live View GPS remote connects in a similar way. You basically turn it on and it will automatically connect to your Insta360 Ace Pro. So it's really easy, it's really simple, and the nice thing is that you get a live view so you can see what you're doing. The screen is actually very nice on the live view remote, and recording and stopping is a bit faster than on the Action 4. One of the biggest pros is that you can change what mode you're in, and not just photo, video, but every single mode. You can also change your settings. You have so many options with the live view GPS preview remote watch, or whatever it's called, that it's like having a tiny little computer next to you, or no need to actually turn on your phone. It just makes life a lot simpler and a lot faster. You can press record and you can press stop. You can also wake up the camera. Now, when it comes to lag on the actual live view remote, you do have a little bit of lag. I'm not going to lie to you, but that's only normal, and the lag isn't that bad. I've tried it in different situations, and it's not something that gets on my nerves. It's not instant, but it has like maybe half a second lag, which is fine if you just need a preview. And like I said, the options on the watch are very vast. You can change the display, you can change the wake up, you can change the orientation, you can change the sounds, you can change the time, you can change just about every single thing. And like with the DJI, you can change it from kilometers to miles. Right, I'm going to try and not kill myself, but hopefully you guys can see what kind of speed I'm doing right here. The rest of the situation isn't that important, but let's see if the speed on the Xiaomi scooter is the same as the speed that both of these are showing. I can see both of them do have GPS, so we're still good. Right, off we go. Now this can do 25 kilometers an hour in sports mode. So we're on 20 kilometers an hour. We are up a little bit of a hill. 21, 22, 23, 24, and we are on 23 again. I weigh about 103 kilo, not to lie, so up this hill in the cold, 23 kilometers an hour. 22. Now if we slow down a bit, let's see if both of these catch on. 15, 14, 14, 13, 12. And I can see GPS is working on both of them, so luckily we are constant, because like I said yesterday, I actually filmed this, but I had to refilm it again because the DJI did not catch GPS. So make sure you do wait for that before you go out and film, or else you could feel a little bit silly. Now we're doing 7, 8, and what if we just walk? That says 5 kilometers an hour right there. Now if we slow down a little bit, 3 kilometers an hour. I guess some of you might be using this for hikes, so this could be important to you. 4 kilometers an hour. And now we're gonna try and do something a little bit slower. Alright, I have cruise control set on 10 kilometers an hour. I think this could be important for a lot of you because, you know, you're probably on a mountain bike, or you're hiking, or you're on a motorbike, and you want to see how this works and if it works at all. Right, I'm going to try and not to wipe out here, but I'm going to go in here. And let's do a cruise control of 14 kilometers an hour. Now go, cruise control is set on 14 kilometers an hour. And this is what it looks like around here. They're renovating this factory up here, and it's gonna be pretty cool. Right. Gonna turn around and I will get off my scooter because I feel like I am gonna wipe out seriously. And we're gonna go back towards the studio. My hands are absolutely frozen. We're doing 14 kilometers an hour at the moment. 15 kilometers an hour at the moment. 17, 18, 17, 16, 17 kilometers an hour cruise control. I'm really interested to see what these are like and how precise they are. And obviously the Xiaomi scooter may not be the most precise thing in the world, but it should give you an idea of how well these work. Now we're downhill a little bit, so let's do 21 kilometers an hour cruise control. And that mini, well, we're gonna have to slow down. We are gonna have to slow down. So yeah, I mean, how well do these show off the actual speed? All right, come on, Mini, come on, you can do it. All right, 15, 16, 17, 18, and we are back to full speed ahead. Whew. GPS is working on both of them, so that was a good ride. My hands are frozen. 5 minutes. Let's stop both of these recording. All right, I'm back in the studio, and one thing about the Insta360 GPS watch is that I'm inside and it can actually still capture the GPS signal and see how fast you're going in real time, as well as turn on a stopwatch, which is pretty cool. As you can see, the DJI one has lost all GPS signal, whereas we have one GPS signal on the Insta360 watch. In terms of adding the actual dashboard, the telemetry in your applications, DJI on the left, Insta360 on the right, it's very simple, and you can move the dials all around wherever you want to put them on the screen. And then exporting it is pretty fast. They do it at about the same speed. So the apps work absolutely fine. Right, busy few days, but I am trying to bring you, let's set you down there, the GPS watch comparison between the Insta360 and the DJI. Now, the DJI is about $100 cheaper, so that's a lot cheaper, whereas the Insta360 is quite a bit more expensive, but you get a lot more for your money. You get live view, you get a whole load of different settings, and you can actually see live time, speed, and you've got a stopwatch, you've got a compass. You have a whole load of settings that you can have on this watch, and it just feels a lot more polished, whereas this just feels like a simple start-stop kind of, telemetry data watch. This feels like a tiny little computer on your wrist. Now, Insta360 do have a different GPS remote that works with the X3, but I don't have that, and it's not compatible with the Ace Pro yet. I'm hoping that they do make it compatible. The only two downsides for the Insta360 live view remote here, the GPS telemetry watch, is the price. It's pretty hefty. I think it's about $170, $180. And the fact that it doesn't charge via USB-C and you need this kind of whole system here, which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, it's not bad, but I would prefer just to have a cable, USB-C to USB-C, which I have with me all the time anyway, instead of always remembering to bring that. But apart from those two things, it is by far a million times better than the DJI watch, and it catches GPS signal a lot faster, and it seems to be a lot stronger, even inside, on the Insta360 watch. So if you're in a car, it will probably have the signal, whereas the DJI one could lose it potentially. They're both nice watches, and I don't really have a bad thing to say about them. But the Insta360 also has telemetry if you connect it to your phone. So if you have the app going, you're going to get the data. So you don't even have to buy the watch. If you have an Apple Watch, right, you can download the app and get the GPS telemetry data from your Apple Watch, because it has a little app, and you can basically press record, stop record, and that's pretty cool. Here you can also change all the settings. So if you kind of touch the settings, you can change from 8K to 2.7, all the frame rates, the stabilization, all on the watch, which is really great. And the watch is really nice because you can see that it's got, it's got a tiny bit of lag, but you can see what you're doing, which is really, really good. So those things work really well. And at the moment, it actually has GPS on. So I'm inside, I'm about 3 meters away from the window, and the DJI one is just spinning around in circles. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we have GPS on the Insta360. So the signal on here is a lot more reliable. That's what I found playing around with it. It also allows you to connect to Garmin devices. So people like Garmin devices. If you're, a motorbiker, motovlogger, or a mountain biker, you've no doubt got a Garmin device. So the Insta360 Ace Pro does come out on top when it comes to those kind of things. To me, it is the king of vlog cameras. It is an absolutely fantastic vlog camera, whereas the Action 4 is more a sports and action camera, and it has pro sport features like, pro sportsmen are going to use. Time code and 10-bit D-log, things that you don't really have to care about if you're vlogging. But this camera does have the option to do sports, which is fantastic. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to lie to you, it looks just as good as the Action 4. So if you want to do sports with it, you can just, make sure that the screen's down, because if it's up, you might break it or something. You might not, but it's just going to be a lot more durable if you have it down. All in all, it's a fantastic camera, and this film was about these GPS watches. So those are my thoughts on these watches. If I had to choose one, it would be the Insta360 one, because it just does so much more. I know it is more expensive by about $100, which is a lot, but you are getting a lot more and you're getting a reliable GPS signal. Whereas this one is still searching. This one has 1 out of 3 dots, which is fantastic. I filmed this on my iPhone, by the way, because I don't have time. I'm doing mist filters, which I've been doing for 3 years. Anyway, you guys have a fantastic day. You know, ring the bell, subscribe, like, all that jazz. There will be links down below for both of these. And let's hope that Insta360 does do an update for the remote from the X3, because I have been getting quite a few messages why it doesn't work and why it isn't compatible with that yet. I don't know. Do comment down below if you do, because I've been trying to work it out, if the Action 4 takes telemetry data from the DJI Mimo app. Does that work? Because I haven't been able to get it to work. It keeps on saying connect the Osmo GPS, whereas the Insta360 can take telemetry data from your iPhone or Android or wherever you're using. So, you know, that's another huge plus for the Insta360.